All right, here we are. Last but not least, we are getting Delta started on her one-shot. So, Stephanie, we talked about where Delta came from, and you sent me quite a bit of details of where she grew up, where she currently lives. And the place that we discussed her living is the fairy kingdom of Orchidshire. And what I've added a few just tweaky details on here for you. Orchidshire is located just like you would expect, enchanted forest. What Delta has never really known is, are you in the Feywild or are you not in the Feywild? There seems to be good evidence that Orchidshire could be in both. Could be right on the border, could be some kind of crossover point. But the creatures and the fairy community in which you live are very fey in nature. But the animals that Delta has come to love and come to know are fairly ordinary and would easily be found in the wildlands, the forests of the material plane, if you will. And so the other thing that I'll tell you is I'm going to introduce some characters to you a little bit along the way. But why don't you just start by telling me a little bit about Delta? I have a picture here that could be some inspiration, but what is Delta like from a personality standpoint? What does she look like? What does she usually wear? Where is she usually spending her time?
Well, Delta is pretty easygoing. So her mom is one of the main seamstresses in town. She has a very successful shop. Everyone goes to her mom. Delta spends a lot of time with her mom in the shop, pretty much under her mom's wishes, right? The two of them have been best friends. It's just the two of them, no one else. So they rely a lot on each other for each other's company. Again, very well known in the town. Kind of think of almost I think of Beauty and the Beast, Belle and her dad's relationship, right? Sing-songy town, everyone's nice, everyone knows Delta, everyone loves Delta. Delta always just kind of feels like maybe there's something missing, like she's meant for something maybe a little bit more than
I
her
want
little town.
adventure in the... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's very, very Beauty and the Beast, now that I'm saying it. But again, she's happy, she's content, she loves her town, she loves her village, she loves the relationship she's formed there, she loves all the animals. But again, she just needs a little bit something more. She doesn't want to fall in her mother's footsteps. She's really against taking her mom's shop, which is what her mom wants, but Delta really doesn't want to go down the seamstress route.
Okay.
What else did you want to know? What she wears? Pretty, again, she's pretty ordinary. She doesn't, again, she's well known, but doesn't necessarily love to stand out. So she's not going to wear anything loud. I mean, just, some pants, a t-shirts, and some wool flats. She's looking cute. She's stylish. I mean, that's what her mom does, but it's definitely not loud.
Right. Fashion forward, but, blending in.
If you didn't know Delta, she blends in with the crowd. She doesn't necessarily stand out. Yeah.
Well, that may change tonight because tonight is the Queen's Ball. And Queen Lazuli, the Queen of Orchidshire, in this area, the Fey realm, has a special announcement that she is going to be bringing tonight to the people who live kind of immediately in this area. So Orchidshire is like the capital city of a realm, a fairly vast realm that Queen Lazuli would actually oversee. That's tonight, though. Right now, Delta is out watching one of her favorite flocks of animals. I say flock, but it could be any animals that you want. And she is there with one of her best friends. And I'll introduce her in a second. But tell me the kinds of creatures that Delta would be watching. And these can be creatures that maybe Delta doesn't have necessarily direct responsibility for. but they're roaming creatures that Delta would know well and have a fondness for.
Deer.
Deer.
Delta loves a deer. Again, I think, given where they're at, kind of in this like enchanted forest, these big, beautiful deer-like creatures, I think of like these lean, four-legged, tall creatures. They're not like a giraffe.
Okay.
They're not tall, like, lanky like a giraffe, but they're a little bit more majestic than a deer.
Fair enough. I like that. And I would imagine that, you have a buck or two in the herd that have just majestic antlers, kind of a collar of fur. I imagine they're probably a little bit paler, more of like the white, off-white
Hmm.
kind of color. You have, a handful of does, maybe one or two little ones, little Bambis that are kind of running around. Sitting next to you is a half elf woman, a young woman. She's about your age, about 19, 20 years old. African American, dark, beautiful jet black skin. This gorgeous afro that has all these kind of green flowers kind of tucked into it. And around her float four pixies. And these pixies are with her all the time. Whether they have sworn loyalty to her or she has just won their hearts, they are with her constantly. She's their person. This is Zenmoira Lightgaze. And while she is a half-elf, here I put up a picture for you.
Yeah.
So she is more human size, a little bit, maybe petite for that phase. She does live in this nearby area, and you have known her for most of your life. These pixies have just kind of found her and adopted her. Pixies are not super intelligent, but enough to communicate. They only speak Sylvan, which is actually a language that you speak. And Zenmora kind of treats them almost like baby dolls. They're not super intelligent, but they're in the bodies of young teenagers, basically, right? So they kind of have the vanity and kind of popularity that contests that come with puberty, but they really just have this very, very simple perception look about life. They're smaller than you are. So you're probably 12 to 14 inches tall. They're probably in the 6-inch tall range. So they're 6 to 8 inches. They're about half to a 2/3 of your height. And you two are both just sitting there. This is one of your favorite spots that you come. It's mid-afternoon and you're watching the deer play. And Zenmoira, as she's kind of talking to you, she's got, the pixies are kind of floating all around her. She says, well, hey, Delta, so man, what do you think about the ball tonight? I know that your mom's been working real hard to outfit all the people that are coming. Do you have a dress? Are you going?
Yeah, my mom, you know, since, she's making all the things for everyone, which is great. She loves it. She's so excited about it. You know, she whipped up this like little purple like gown for me, and me, Zen, like this isn't for me. This scene is just, it's not for me. I'm just dreading it. But she's really excited, so I'm gonna suck it up and go. I'm sure it'll be fine. Again, like the dress is beautiful, and I can't complain because like it's a one of a kind. Her. She puts her heart and soul into this stuff, and I just can't say no to her.
It sounds amazing. I mean, I've never been to something that fancy before. Like, I'm always amazed at all the high society things that you get to do and all the people that you get to rub shoulders with. Like, what do you think this big announcement is from the Queen?
I don't know, and I try to get that out of my mom because these surprises, but my mom doesn't even know. And I thought maybe she could have like, get out of the Queen when or at least some of the people that, all the Queen's little handmaids came and got their fits from her. No one gave it up. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it though. I mean, Zen, what do you think it could be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just if it's important enough to tell the whole village, I just think it's got to be something important. I think if it was something dangerous, that she would have brought it up before now. Or made like to have a ball to make an announcement. I don't know. I think it's probably a good thing, don't you?
Maybe, I mean, maybe someone's coming in town for a little bit. Um,
Maybe.
I don't know, does the Queen have any kids?
Well, I mean, she has that son, Prince Bracken, but we haven't seen him since he was a little boy. I don't know what happened. I don't even know where he is anymore. But I mean, we know he's alive somewhere. I don't know if they've kept him hidden or I know they sent him away for a little bit after whatever accident happened. Then you remember nobody talked about that. Nobody's talked about that for years. Like we never really knew what happened to him.
Do we think Bracken's coming back?
What do you think? I mean, he has to be about our age now. Well, if that's the case, then where do you think he's been?
I don't. Yeah, is this him? This is. Do we think he's cute?
I don't
Do you
know.
think? Is this like a suitor ball? Is she trying to find something for Bracken?
Oh, is it like a coming of age kind of thing? Like, is she gonna introduce all of the girls in the kingdom to her prince?
Oh my gosh! Is that why maybe that's why my mom's been outfitting like every girl in the city? Oh my god!
Oh, you could meet a prince tonight.
I don't. Oh no!
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if he asks you to dance?
You know I can't dance. Then you've seen me out on the
What are you
floor.
talking about? We used to dance all the time. The pixies around here, two of them just start doing like Tinkerbell little twirls in the air, just as she's kind of narrating this.
Delta exasperated lays just back in the grass and it's like, I don't know. I can't even handle this right now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think you would make an amazing princess.
There's absolutely no way.
Well, I don't know if you haven't even met him yet. How do you even know?
I mean, look at me. It's not going to happen. I'm not. No, Prince Bracken would never.
I don't know. I mean, if he hasn't really been a part of this society, maybe he's looking for someone else who isn't as interested in it as well. You never know.
He doesn't even know any of us. He would definitely go for a looker. You know, I mean,
Well, I'm just saying, don't make the decision until you see him for yourself. I mean, you never know. Maybe he could be the one.
ugh. She rolls her eyes. Zelda's not having it.
The pixies are around her just doing the like like KISSING kind of taunt at you.
Ugh. Again, she rolls her eyes, shoos him away. Go, go. Not here.
As you, well, the last thing that she says is, so I hear your grandmother's coming into town too. Has she arrived already?
Not yet.
Well, I mean, how long has it been this time since you've seen her? It had to have been, what, 2 or 3 months?
I mean, it's been a while. Things have been a little weird for whatever reason, you know.
So let's talk about her for a second. So Grand Bella is actually not your mother's mother. She would be your father's mother. And you see her fairly often. Probably, she probably comes for 2 or 3 weeks, 3 or 4 times a year. You call her Grand Bella. Bella's her name. And she is a force to be reckoned with. She is beloved by the people of this alley. She's well known. She's kind of the Maggie Smith of Downton Abbey. Like she's kind of the matron of this space, and she carries with her kind of a very regal presence. But she's always shot very straight. She doesn't, she's like you in that she doesn't like a lot of pretense. She doesn't like a lot of pageantry. She presents herself the way that she is, and you either take her or leave her. And so she's always encouraged Delta to stay connected to the earth. Play the game if you have to. She's never really gone toe to toe with your mom and kind of thinking about high society and being in nobility and marrying in. But she's definitely seen beyond the kind of glitz and glamour and the game of this nobility. And so she's always been very supportive of you exploring your interests with animals and with husbandry or shepherding and all that kind of stuff. And it's been a couple months since she's been here, but she is supposed to arrive before the ball tonight.
And she is my dad's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And again, I think you and I, we talked about you've never met your dad. I mean, this was like a separated at birth kind of thing. But his mom is kind of the one tether you have to him. And really, you probably just don't even think of her as his mom. She's just your grandma. Like, she's just always been around and always been very invested in you and always made you a priority, even more so than your mom. You're important to her.
And I think Delta would be really excited to see her, but also a little nervous given that she's kind of going to a ball. That's, again, not really Delta's scene. Going to be all blitzed and glammed up. Definitely out of her element. Not to say that she thinks her grandma's going to think less of her or anything, but it's just, it's a weird dichotomy between her mom that's really pushing her in this way and then Delta's grandma, Grandbella, that is very supportive of, Delta spreading her wings and getting out of Orchidshire.
Fair enough. As you two kind of, continue to chit-chat, all of a sudden you look up and see the entire herd of deer freeze. Like headlights in their eyes, they all look back into the forest, kind of away from where you are, and they are frozen. You hear 2 feet hitting the ground hard, like enough to shake the earth. It's getting closer and it's jumping. And all of a sudden, out from the woods jumps this boom. Let's see, what would large be? This arguably 10-foot tall, grotesque-looking frog-like creature. It has an enormous mouth with teeth. It kind of walks bipedal, so on two legs, really muscular arms, covered in kind of the sticky, frog-like, sticky stuff, mucus or whatever. And it lashes out and grabs one of the tiny baby deer and sucks it into his mouth. I need you to roll initiative.
Oh, shit. Okay. I got a 5.
Oops. 5. Sorry, I did not have this pulled up beforehand. My bad. I'm gonna roll Zinmora into this as well. There we go. Okay, she rolled a 21, which is great, and then this guy rolled a 10. What's your name? Delta. All right, let me pull this up here real quick. You see Zinmora, who's noticed this as much as you have, jump up out of the way, and you see the 4 pixies come up around her and make it this halo, and Zinmora in Sylvan, and she's like, go! All 4 of the pixies fly ahead, and one by one, they polymorph into bears. Only they're 4 very pastel-y colored bears, like Care Bear colors, pink, purple, kind of a reddish, and a yellow. And they jump in and boom, 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 boom. And they they each take a swipe at this thing trying to get the deer out of its mouth. One of them misses. That one hits. Sorry, let me see how many hit points I'm talking about here. 7 plus 4 is 11. All right, that was the first one. So bite missed, claws hit. Oh, natural 20. That's nice. That one did not hit. So the bite does hit. Let's see, 1d8. 6 plus 4 is 14. All right, that's 2. The next one does a bite and a claw. The claw hits, the bite does not. 10 minus 4. Okay, and then the last one, the yellow one goes. Both of those hit. 12, 13 plus 8. 21. This thing gets hit so many times by all these bears that it like spits out the deer who's there covered in mucus on the ground laying down. It is going to jump away from the bears and actually land next to you two. And it is going to make a which is better? It is going to spit its tongue out at Zinmoira. It misses. She's able to dodge, and it turns around. And as a bonus action, it is going to kind of disappear behind a tree out of sight immediately from both of you. It is now your turn. What would you like to do? You can't see this thing, but you know the direction it just went, and it can't be far.
Okay. I am going to...
Remember, your spirit totems are a bonus action. So you could turn on one of your auras and then decide what you want to do.
Okay, well, I would like to do that. Yeah, no, but I can't see it, right?
Mm-mm.
But one of my totems does help with that, correct? I'm going to do my unicorn totem.
Okay. And tell me what that does.
Advantage on checks to detect creatures, heal spells, and heal up to 4 hit points to allies.
Okay. So if you cast a healing spell, everybody within that third point. Now, what does it look like when you activate this aura? What is it? It's 30-foot radius. Is it around you? Like, are you centered? Like, you can put the center point anywhere within 60 feet of you.
Oh, then I would. It's a unicorn. It is glittery. It is sparkly. It's not rainbowy, but it is opaly. Does
Beautiful.
That make sense? It's iridescent. It's beautiful.
Sounds good.
It is the most beautiful of my spirits.
Okay.
And yeah, so 30 feet of me. I am the center of it for now.
Okay. All right. That was bonus action. What do you want to do for movement and action?
I would like to move. Do I see any of it?
If you would like to use your action to perceive it, you can. Or unless you have like fairy fire or something that can reveal invisible creatures. Or hidden creatures.
I will use my fairy fire at the first level.
Okay. Um, so I think you get to pick a color if you read that spell, and it's basically like a poof of powder that's going to land on anything that would be hidden or invisible. And everything, I think there's some kind of save I have to do, isn't there?
There is. Is it weird that it shows up 3 times under my first
Yeah.
level spell?
Yeah, because there's different situations when you can use it.
Okay.
So you get a use of it, I think, because you're a fairy, you get a free use of it. So each object within a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw, which it fails. For the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light into a 10-foot radius. Any attack against an affected creature has an advantage if the attacker can see it, and if the affected creature isn't and the affected creature can't benefit from being invisible. Okay, so it failed. So you are able to see that about 15 feet away from you, kind of shrouded in this bush, is this big hulking figure outlined in what color did you choose? Blue, green, or violet? Violet.
Violet.
All right. As soon as you do that, Zenmoira and all of the bears turn their attention and are able to see it. Zenmoira is going to cast... let's see, what spells does she have? She is going to cast Levitate on herself to get out of kind of range, and you see her just start to float up in so she can get more of a bird's eye view, and she begins giving directions to her bears to go attack. So I'm going to do just a quick few rolls. The first one, let's see, it's 2 hits, 3 hits, 3 hits. 6, 5, 14, 14. All right. As the bears just one at a time, pounce, 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 pounce. Some of them hit, some of them don't. This thing is starting to look a little kind of scratched up. It is going to disappear again from where the bears are and show up somewhere. You now being the only other thing that's on the ground that's more interesting than the deer, this thing is going to make 2 attacks against you. 1 bite attack for 14 to hit.
Nope.
That misses. And then the next one is the tongue attack for 15 to hit.
My AC is 16.
Woo! All right. You were able to miss them both. And then as a bonus action, now it's trying to hide, but it is still within your cube. And so it is, even though it's not smart enough to understand what's going on, it thinks it's hidden, but it's not. And it is your turn. You can see it.
How far away is it from me?
Very close. Within, well, the bite was within 5 feet of you, and then it kind of moved away. So it's within 5 or 10 feet of you.
I would like to produce a flame.
Okay?
And I blast it at my frog.
Okay?
It's a ranged spell attack.
Okay, so make your attack.
Dirty 20.
That hits. All right, 1d8.
And I got 8.
8. Very good. Where you've seen it get, slashed and hacked, the fire, it doesn't give it more damage than anything else, but it is, it doesn't like being on fire. And you were able to see it. It looks badly hurt. Anything else you want to do?
I do not. No, not at this point.
Okay. It is Zenmoira's turn. The bears are not able to make it all the way back to where the Banderhob is. So they're going to use all of their movement to surround it, but none of them will have any actions left to actually attack it, but they're ready to. Zenmoira is going to conjure this green kind of orb of light and hurl it at the frog. She gets advantage because of your fairy fire. She does hit it. And she does 8 points of force damage against it. So you hit this fireball. You kind of double team it as you go. It is its turn again. It is going to jump up into the trees out of reach of the bears. Thank you. And it is going to make make one attack against you and one attack against Zen. The first attack is an 18 to hit for you.
That hits.
Oh, sorry, that's 21 to hit.
No,
to hit Zen is a 17, which also hits. So to hit you is 14 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled in its mouth. And actually, I guess narratively, I would say that the tongue would go after Zenmoira first, which it did, and she takes 10 points of necrotic damage. And so it throws its tongue out, pulls her down out of the sky, and then turns around, makes a bite attack at you, and you are clutched in its mouth. All right? It is your turn again.
If I wild shape in its mouth, do I still keep grappled in its mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
But just because all the grappled means is that your speed is 0. You can still attack, you can still cast spells, all that kind of stuff. It just means you can't move unless you break the grapple. I will tell you it looks very hurt.
Then I am going to probably just... Maybe I just do Moonbeam on it.
Okay?
Sure, why not?
All right, Moonbeam. A silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in ghostly flame that causes searing pain. It must make a Constitution saving throw. Now, I will tell you, you're in its mouth, so you're going to take as much damage as it does because you are considered in the same space while you're grappled. Now, I take that back. It's large, so it's taking up more than... So you can have it hit a part of its body you're not in. Sorry, I should have said that.
Butt?
What?
I'm going to do its butt.
Okay,
Just gonna
sounds good. So it needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Ooh, it has good Constitution. That's a 21 Constitution. Half as much damage on a successful save. So 2d10, and it'll take half of that.
Okay. 15 is half of 15. Half of 15, yep.
Okay. That's what you needed. You needed 7 hit points to take it out. So how does the power you call from the moon take out this fledgling beast that was attacking your herd?
I think of it like silver shimmers, like the end of a comet.
Okay.
The moon, that's kind of how it goes, and then it hits the frog's butt, and then it just kind of explodes like a meteor. There's nothing glamorous about it. There's nothing shiny, sexy, pretty about it. It's just once it makes contact.
Pure power, right? Pure pure power, right? That's great. So you see it, and it like, once it kind of comes, like you call it from the sky, and it hits, this thing is basically just split in half, and it falls to the ground, and you fall out of its mouth. As you collect yourself, Zenmoira checks on the pixies. The little fawn that was in its mouth does appear very badly hurt.
Can I cast... Is my aura still up?
Mm-hmm. It lasts for a minute.
And we're all still in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have a prancing spectral unicorn made of gold glitter.
So I want to go over, and I would like to, if I could, touch the little baby deer.
Okay.
And do cure wounds on it, and then everyone else would get that D4.
Very good. So as you do this, and again, the fawn is bigger than you are, just as you think about proximity, or, size differential. We got to remember you're only like 12, 14 inches tall. You begin. What does it look like when you cast Cure Wounds? Like, is it words you say? Is it movements you make? Is it like tangled, like something glows? Like, what happens?
Oh, I like the glowing. It's just a really faint, beautiful blue healing orb. Almost like, I think of it like, like a gaseous orb. Swirling.
So you were you kind of like create it and just infuse it into this body, and you start to see it, where it was bleeding and ripped, from being in this mouth, a little acidy burn from being in that space. You just start to see it all. It kind of like slowly gets back up on its, tender legs as it's just learning to walk. It kind of looks up at you, actually probably looks you right in the eye, and then kind of scampers off into the woods where it's waiting. Mother, father are. You see Zenmoira is already feeling better, having taken damage. The pixies have now kind of reverted back to their size. While none of them took a ton of damage, they do all feel better, having been in this aura, as the unicorn just kind of slowly goes to everybody and offers them that spectral healing. Zen looks at you and she's like, "Man, where'd that come from? That hasn't been around. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. What is going on?"
Do you think it has to do with the Queen's announcement tonight?
Well, I mean,
there's in our way?
I don't know, but Queen Lazuli keeps pretty tight borders on this area. I mean, if she's here to announce something good, that ain't it. If she's here to warn everybody, then she's done that before in very different ways, and with the military. Like, I don't know. That looks like something scared it. I don't know.
His mind at this point. I have no idea.
Oh, maybe
Things haven't been ruffled here in years.
They really haven't. You and I both know this is not necessarily. This is the wilds, but man, to just in broad daylight, for it to just jump out like that, I don't know. But you know what? It's getting dark, and you got to go get ready. I'll go see if my family, my pa knows about what that is, and maybe you could ask around. I think people need to know about this.
Well, I'll let you know if I hear anything.
Okay. Hey, have a good time, okay?
I'll try.
And as she and the pixies begin to walk back to wherever they live, you make your way back, kind of lost in your thoughts. Let's fast forward to getting ready for the ball. I have a fun picture that I want to show you of your mom, and someone you have been waiting to see has arrived.
Must be my grandma, Grandbella.
Grandbella's there. She is also a fairy, old, kind of soft wrinkles, face that is tanned. While she is dressed, kind of like you see her here, more in adventuring gear, She is in the process of getting on a very muted, but gown for tonight, kind of putting her hair up. What you've collected over the years has been somewhat nebulous, as far as where she goes when she's not here. She doesn't talk a lot about it, but you just have gathered that she's seen a lot in her time. And then your mom is there, Maura, who is frantically getting herself and you ready, pulling out accessories and thinking about your hair. But Grand Bella walks in as you and your mom are there getting ready, and she kind of squares her shoulders and kind of this nod of approval. She's like, you are fit for a queen, aren't you? You're going to do great tonight. How are you feeling?
Grand Bella, I don't know. I'm nervous. Is Mom around?
Yeah, I'd say she's in there with you.
Okay. I'm nervous. Mom just does it so good. I just don't. There's big shoes to fill.
No. We are not the kind of women who are anxious about events like this. You are a strong woman in this family. You hold your head high, and you step out there with all the confidence that I have come to know in you. You are not a weak woman. You're a strong woman. Don't you forget that.
So with those words, Delta's like, yeah, if Grand Bella thinks I can do it, I can do it. So she sits up a little bit taller. Her mom's kind of behind her, helping her with her hair, and she's kind of leaning back into her mom, and mood is lightened.
Maura, as she's kind of, doing this intricate kind of curling on your hair, she's like, no, Gran, don't be too hard on her. It's okay. It's her first time at a ball of this magnitude, and surely we all have a little bit of jitters, and that has to be okay. And Gran looks at her. She's like, jitters or no jitters, I've been around long enough to know this is just the next thing. And this young woman is going to be in a lot of positions in her life and meet a lot of people and go a lot of places. This is nothing compared to that. She's got this.
Delta kind of takes it in and just goes, do we know why is there a ball tonight? Do we know what the announcement is?
Grand Bella looks at Maura and she's like, yes, I would just like to know that myself. I mean, I have my theories, but Maura, have you heard anything? Maura looks around and I don't know. I've not been informed of any news that would be worth it. I mean, it must be something related to the royalty. I mean, why else would she save the announcement for a ball? And Gran looks at her and she kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. And she's like, Maura, you've just been you can just be naive sometimes. This is, in one sense, not that important for this very reason that you just listed. But at the same time, there's a reason that it's going to be announced, and I think we should just be prepared for whatever's going to come. This is just, it can't possibly be that important. I say we just go listen to what they have to say, but I would not be worried any at all about it. She looks at you in particularly and kind of winks at you. Now,
Delta really wants to tell him about the frog, but she doesn't.
Do a deception check since you thought of it.
Okay. 11. I got an 11 plus 13.
13. Gran looks at you, and as that fleeting thought goes through your head, she snatches onto it. She's like, Delta, what? What is it? What?
It, Zen and I were out at our spot today, and, we were looking at the deer, and something really strange happened.
What? What happened?
We came across, one of those large frogs. Yeah, I haven't seen in years, and it snatched, the little baby doe, and, Zen and I took care of it, and it's all fine, but it was just we just haven't seen that in a while. And, with the ball tonight and these announcements, it just, I don't know, it has me a little on edge.
Your mom gets very concerned. Darling, are you okay? Are you hurt?
Oh, mom, yeah, mom, I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, I'm 24 of 35 hit points, so I don't know if there's any, like, if I still have a bite mark on me or anything. But, I'm trying to, like, cover that up.
It
I've
would
done
have
a little
left.
makeup
It would have
too.
left a little bit of a mark on you.
Okay.
We're going to say you have some kind of gash on your arm from a tooth. Granbella grabs your arm a little firmly, and like as soon as she can almost sense as you're kind of processing all this in your mind and trying to reassure your mother. She grabs your arm and looks at it, and she's like, "Girl, did it bite you?"
I mean, yeah, but it's okay. It's really,
So you
it didn't,
say it was a giant. Was it a giant frog or was it a banderhob? Think.
uh,
It was a
why
banderhob.
did, it was Vanderhot.
And Grambella just gets back, kind of squares her shoulders. You see her eyes just kind of lost back in thought. And Mora's like, "What? What would possess them to come in broad daylight? To come
I mean,
here?
Mom, when's the last time you've even seen one?
Oh, not since you were a child." Grambella, she's like, "We will speak no more of this for now. I That is not a good omen. This I will make some inquiries." And she turns around and like very resolutely leaves the room and leaves you two to finish getting ready.
Delta turns around to her mom and just says, "Mom, I didn't want to say anything. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. Hope I
Oh,
didn't ruin tonight for you. It was just so weird. I haven't seen one in years, and neither has Zen. And yeah, it was so strange."
darling, I'm just so glad that you're okay. I'm always worried that you will go out and get yourself into danger that is far beyond your abilities, but I should never have to worry, shall I? You you truly are you truly are as strong as Gran says so. And I need to remember that. You're not a little girl anymore.
She heavy sighs and kind of looks at her gash and says, "Is there Mom? Can we cover my arms tonight? I don't want to draw attention to it."
Of course, darling. And she's able to like very quickly come in and while she doesn't have magic, she's a fairy and is gonna have just a little bit of stuff, and she's able to kind of drop the shoulders just a little bit on your on your dress. Just to be able to cover it, and she's able to put some salve on it that just begins to soothe it and kind of put some makeup on it. So you look, by the time she's done, you could never tell. But she's just very nurturing and very gentle as she does that.
Okay.
The night falls, and you begin to hear the sound of. It's not so much a string quartet. It's a very naturey kind of. There's a rhythm to it, and there's a melody to it. There's a flute, and there's a little bit of a string, but they have this very earthy, ethereal kind of sense to it. And you get how the sound seems to be amplified kind of through the whole area. And as you fly out, you and your mom, dressed to the nines, fly out of your house. It's kind of built into the side of a tree. You fly down. You just see the other bodies and men and women and children kind of starting to float down and float through the forest from their respective places. And you come across kind of an inverted mushroom. It's giant. It's probably 20 or 30 feet across. Yellow, when I say inverted, it kind of dips down, so there's kind of a spot in the middle that'll probably be for some kind of dancing. There's a little throne built into one side of it, and then there's instrumentalists, there's trays of food, there's fireflies that are all kind of lighting the area. And just even bioluminescence that is just giving it these blues and purples and pinks kind of glow. And you see people begin to arrive dressed elegantly for this event. You also see two human-sized or bigger creatures begin to come out of the shadows, and they are they are not ones that you recognize, and they are a little disturbing, just in how they look. They and your gran actually flies ahead of you to intercept them, kind of telling people. Actually, she doesn't really say much. She goes up. One of them is an enormous vulture. She has a hunched back, kind of the vulture head. She has this pink shawl that kind of covers the enormity of her body, but she's probably 6-7 feet tall. So this giant creature, she has a staff that has a skull on top of it in one of her hands. So if she has wings, she does have some kind of fingers and toes and whatnot. Next to her is a thin creature that I can only describe as having the face of a almost comical looking cow. She is all purple, but not like rich purple or even lavender, like a sickly, bruisey kind of purple. And she is covered in head to toe in blisters. I will show you an example of the two that I mean. And Gran flies up to them. You see people giving them a wide berth. The cow-headed woman has kind of flies all around her. The dress she has is kind of fallen, like her boobs are saggy. Like she is just, it's like the worst effort ever at trying to be fashionable. It's like you dug it out of a trash can after a bunch of rats had their way with it. And Gran goes up, though, and begins speaking to them, and they begin having an intense conversation between the three of them. People seeing, other fairies that are seeing Gran Bella talking to them don't freak out, but definitely give a wide berth to these three individuals and continue to make their way to the mushroom. Okay. Where would you like to go? Like, continue on?
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that.
Okay. As you arrive at the mushroom, you begin to get in a queue of basically being announced to the room. So there's a male steward there, kind of dressed in a very simple kind of tuxedo, and slicked back hair, kind of graying, and asks for you and your mother's names, which is kind of a formality because you all kind of know each other here in this part, kind of here in the central part of the kingdom. And he announces you both to the room. You see a handful of people, just kind of give an obligatory clap as you just are the next guests to arrive. Where would you and your mom go? Are y'all the type that would be sociable, or would you kind of find a spot to hang out, or like what would you do until something starts?
So my mom would definitely go be social, and I would kind of follow suit with her. Before she goes over and starts talking with anyone, I want to pull her aside and just go, "Hey, how does Gran Bella know those two things?
Darling,
what were they?
There are so many secrets that your Gran Bella has. I truly have no idea. I mean, they are truly the most ghastly creatures. So I can't be sure. I know that I don't know. They look intelligent, and they look like they could be dangerous, but not. You must ask her yourself. I truly don't know who they are or where they came from."
Do you think we need to go back for her? Do you think Rainy is okay?
I mean, do what you must, darling. I mean, I think we should wait and see what the Queen has to say. It did not look like there was something dangerous happening. I mean, what does your heart tell you?
Delta just kind of shrugs it off. She doesn't say much. If her mom starts talking to someone, which I imagine she will because Mora is very sociable, Delta might sneak off
Okay.
um, just to check on Gran.
Okay. So, of course, your mom gets called aside. She's made clothes for almost every young woman here for the night, and you are able to sneak over. How close do you want to get? And are you trying to be stealthy?
Yes, I'm not. I do not want Gran to notice me.
Okay.
Watching her. If there if she's outside the mushroom,
They're probably 20 feet away, kind of in the woods in a lower lit area.
I would like whatever closest like shrub, tree, bush, anything that I can crouch behind just appear.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Hoo, 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 hoo. A natural one.
Okay. So you, as you approach, you hear Gran talking to these. Let's see. I was going to see what. I guess I can decide what languages they speak. What languages do you speak?
I speak Sylvan, right, and Druidic.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be under features and traits?
Yeah. Well, there's a proficiencies and languages tab.
Common, Druidic, Goblin, and Sylvan.
Goblin. Okay. Ew, interesting. So they are not speaking a language that you know. It sounds harsh and guttural. And you hear them just like, no, 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 no. As you approach, and that natural one, I mean, you could not have made a worse effort as your dress gets snagged on a twig and it breaks. Gran does not seem alarmed or surprised by your entrance, and she stops what she's doing. She looks over. She's like, Delta, come here. Come here.
Sorry, Gran. Sorry, I just...
Hush.
just want to make
Hush.
sure you're okay.
I'd like to introduce you to Osmagod and Grimhilda. They are very wise, and they have an extensive knowledge of what is going on in this forest and in this land, and I summoned them here to ask them about. Now, I want you to tell them everything about what you saw today attacking the animals.
Delta kind of looks a little uneasy. She doesn't know these people. She doesn't want to get, Zen in trouble for fighting the not frog, but giant frog-like thing. So she kind of looks to Gran for reassurance. I assume that Gran nods.
She's in a no-nonsense mood. Like, stop hesitating, do what I ask.
Okay. So with that stern Granbella, Delta, talks about her and Zen being out in the forest, and we were getting ready to leave, but we heard these what sound like giant footsteps, and then this creature appeared and grabbed the doe, and we sprung into action, and everything was taken care of, but it took a couple minutes. It was a fight.
The vulture woman goes, "You say you took care of them all by yourself? Well, that's quite amazing, Bella. You have quite the granddaughter here. Look at all of that. Suspicious, but impressive." The cow woman looks and she's like, "So which way did you see her come from?" So, as whatever direction you think it was probably west of you.
Sure.
That it began to approach. She's like, "And you didn't see any others? Nothing else that came out of the woods with it? Nothing ever since?"
No, I mean, I haven't seen one in years, and it just came out of nowhere, and that's all. And I mean, we really just heard it before we saw it. And Delta's kind of rambling. She's,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't like this.
Mm-hmm.
We heard it. We heard it before we saw it. And, once he was gone, Zen and I kind of went our separate ways, and we didn't really stick around to see if there was anything else following. And yeah, no, that was the only one.
The cowwoman looks back at Gran. She says, "Well, there's been some other abnormalities here in this area of the woods. I think it might be worth investigating. What do you think it might be?" And Gran kind of nods. You get the sense that they're looking to her for some kind of leadership. And she nods and looks back at both of them, and she says, "Please feel free to stay for the ball, but I feel like we have more to discuss once this is over. The Fairy Queen is about to make some announcement that we must go listen to, but please make yourselves comfortable." And she grabs your hand and we're done, and begins to fly back to the mushroom. The two creatures kind of lumber forward just to be kind of an eye shot, not super intrusive, but eye shot. I will tell you, the cow-faced woman just stunk to high heavens, like body injuries, just that kind of festering infection kind of smell around her. The vulture woman has just stared you down, like you're a puzzle she's trying to figure out ever since that she's seen you. You make your way back to the mushroom, and it's right about this time that the music comes to a close, and the steward stands in the front of the room and says, "Now presenting Her Royal Highness, the great and benevolent Queen Lazuli." And the music starts up again, and she comes around, and the queen... Actually, why don't you tell me, what would be the most regal version of a queen that you can picture in your head?
A tall, very, very pale, white-haired, and with the most extravagant crown, with a veil of jewels. She's shining in rubies and emeralds. She has a large staff. She's a plump.
Okay. I'm so glad you did that. I had a whole different picture in my head. I didn't make one, but got it. Crown, veil, jewels, staff.
This definitely is not her first rodeo. She's been in the seat for a while.
Yeah, for sure. As she comes in, you just the whole room and you, I'm assuming, bow in a courtly way, curtsy as you are, and she walks in, very confident, regal, chin in the air, but a strong smile on her face. And she taps her staff twice on the ground, and you see these fireworks kind of come out and just kind of announce the beginnings of this thing. And she goes, "Friends and denizens of the Orchid Shire, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Queen's Ball tonight. I pray you will all have a truly magical evening. I'm also pleased to announce that we will be joined tonight by none other than my son, the Prince, just newly returned from his time abroad, Prince Bracken." And she holds out her hand. A extremely handsome young man, I will show you, comes around the corner. He is shaggy dark hair, these beautiful wings. His clothes, he's not really wearing a tuxedo. It's almost like nature itself has been woven in to cover most of his chest. So kind of around his back. So you kind of see his chest and abs all down, but you see these kind of designs. He has this youthful, like you said, he's probably about 19, 20 years old, kind of youthful glow about him. And you'll remember he's not known around here. Something happened to him as a child or as a teenager. You've kind of lost track, but he hasn't really been on the scene for a couple years now. And he kind of comes around. You get the sense that as he's walking in, this is probably as new for him as it is for you. He looks uncomfortable as he's coming in. Kind of does one of these like, hi everybody, kind of waves. Doesn't really say anything. But the queen just looks at him proudly. And then she kind of, holds her hands out, her staff out again. And she's like, I encourage you to come and please make our acquaintance. Steward will guide you through the process. And as the music turns back up, kind of the steward starts getting people in line to meet the queen and the prince. As you're all expected to participate in this. So you and your mom kind of get in the queue. As it becomes your turn, the steward introduces Mora and Delta Yelrose and Granbella of Orchidshire, and they come to you. The queen looks at the both of you and nods, and she's like, Mora, darling, you have outdone yourself. It is truly a testament to your skills that we are that our community is even more beautiful than it is made to be. You are to be commended. And Delta, you have blossomed more than I could have possibly hoped for you. It is truly wonderful to see you here. Bella, thank you for your presence here tonight.
Delta smiles. She's a little awkward. She does a little curtsy, not a full one, but just acknowledges Queen Lazuli and turns to Bracken and says, "Welcome back, Prince."
Bracken's eyes first go as soon as he saw you. His eyes got about this big, and then this look of utter confusion comes on his face. And he is not, that look on his face is not left until you address him. And he's like, hi? And holds out his hand to shake yours. And he's looking around like, what's going on? And he looks at you and he's just, it's Delta? It's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here tonight.
And again, Delta kind of puts her hand out, thinking of Granbella talking her up, being a strong woman, firm grip, and just she kind of shrugs.
He looks at his mother and says, would you be okay if I spoke with Delta just privately for just a moment? And the queen looks at the line and she's like, you're the prince. Like, yes, come back soon. We have more for you to meet. She seems very pleased that he's taking an interest in someone in the kingdom. And he kind of grabs your hand and, pulls you away and kind of just off to the side if you let him.
I do. Delta is on the inside dying, though. She turns around to make sure, hey, guys, you seeing this? And I assume Mother and Granbella are like, go.
Oh, they're ecstatic. Yeah. Well, your mom is, your Granbella is a little bit hard to read right now. As soon as you get away, though, Bracken looks at you and he's like, what are you doing here?
You know my mom?
Whoa.
Okay.
You came all the way here for this? How did you even know?
I didn't know. Where have you been?
What do you mean, where have I been? I saw you 2 days ago. What did you do to your hair? You look amazing, by the way. What is this?
What are you talking about?
Are you serious right now? Come on.
What?
Does your dad know you're here?
My dad?
What is going on right now?
What is going
why
on?
are you here? Oh my God. Okay, fine. Be Delta. You have some explaining to do, is all I'm going to say.
But who else would I be? And don't act like you know me. What? You left years ago. What?
Okay. All right. Whatever. Whatever. Apparently I have people to meet. God, I cannot wait to get out of here. Like, this is just, this is so not my element.
And oh, Mike, what? What about my dad?
I, whatever. Whatever, okay? Just have a good time. And I'm not kidding, you look great. I mean, really good.
Did I not look good 2 days ago? When apparently we were talking and hanging out?
Oh, I'm just not used to it. It's just a different look. It's not a bad look. You look great.
Delta doesn't even know what to do. She's has her arms crossed and is tapping her foot, and it's just why can't you tell me what we were doing 2 days ago? Why did you bring up my dad? I haven't thought about my dad in years. My mom drugged me to this thing, and I
You're
guess I hate these things. I hate these things, and again she starts rambling just about how this isn't my scene either, but like apparently you know that, but I don't know why you know that because apparently we're friends and we shouldn't be friends because I haven't seen you in years, but apparently we saw each other 2 days ago.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You're not going to tell anybody, right?
Tell anybody what?
You know. Just, I think that's part of why I've been gone, right? And just, nobody's supposed to know. I have it under control. It's going to be fine. Just don't say anything, okay?
I mean, of course I'm not, but can you tell me what I'm not supposed to tell?
Perfect. That's fine. Listen. I'll find you later. Okay. I gotta go. Gotta go meet everybody. It is really good to see you, and I'm
Again,
glad you're here.
when can I see you again?
I don't know. Well, I'm assuming when all this is over, we'll see.
What's over the ball? Or
In the distance, you hear a crash in the woods. I mean a loud one that tremors the earth that you are standing on. All of the fairies kind of are really light on their feet, so nobody's really falling over. But it is enough to shake the foundation of what is going on. 2 seconds later, boom, a whole nother crash. The crash that I described for the Banderhob was nothing. That was like a rabbit jumping out of a bush. This is trees are falling over. Queen Lazuli flies up in the middle. Grand Bella does too. And everyone else, you kind of hear this just collective gasp from the general populace. And Lazuli's like, she looks at two of the soldiers and she nods, and they just take off kind of stealthily to go boom. I mean, it's probably maybe a quarter of a mile away from you, and you just hear this massive, like, trees are falling over, something huge is happening. You would also get that it is heading directly to the glen that you were in, near the glen that you were in watching the deer.
Okay. Is anyone else going that way?
What do you want to do?
I want to turn to Bracken and go to you. I don't have time to explain, but I saw Banderhob earlier. Have you seen anything else weird going on around here? I feel like something is off.
He looks at you and is like, yes, there you are. He's like, you want to go find out? Come on, let's go.
And Delta goes. Delta feels this weird sense of trust with Bracken. She can't put her finger on it. She apparently doesn't remember anything, but feels that she wouldn't get led astray by Bracken.
So the two of you take off into the woods. If anybody else goes, you aren't completely sure. Do you want to go over the tree line? Do you want to go through the woods? Do you want to go stealthy? How do you want to travel?
Um, I want to go above the tree line until we get like over where I think the noise is coming from, and then I would like to stealthily maneuver my way through like branches and tree or what, whatever the canopy is,
Great.
down to get a good look at it.
As you fly above the treetops, it is not hard to see what is going on. There is some kind of creature that is taller than the treetops that is slowly making its way through the forest. It has demented features. It's got something resembling a face, but it is very tree-like. It has 5 arms. It has 2 low arms, 2 high arms, and one coming directly out of its chest. And they are just slowly starting to clear away the brush. And you hear it muttering in this deep, a language you don't speak. You see from your vantage point, there are animals of all variety that are fleeing the nearby area where this creature is moving through, fleeing out of the path. You see that it is probably about 50 feet away from where you know the deer live. It is heading that direction.
God damn it. She Bracken says, Bracken, we have to go save the deer. We have to go warn them.
Great. Just lead the way.
Delta does.
Okay. As you begin to take the lead and you begin to weave your way in, you see the deer that are there. It is coming right towards you. Most of the deer are starting to, they're instinctively frozen in fear, like they're inclined to do in the face of danger, and none of them are moving as they're just watching this thing come to them, and their instincts are to stay still. There's probably a dozen of them.
Oh my god. I can't. I speak with animals.
Okay.
Do I get that automatic? Like when I cast it, can I? Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like a. Okay, so I cast speak with animals.
Okay.
And I try and get their attention. I'm like standing in front of them. I go, get out of the way. What do you guys need? Go.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I got a 12.
A 12. They rolled beneath that, so they are. So the buck is the first one to look at you when he hears his name called, and he goes, "Delta, what is it?"
I don't know. I don't know. It's big and it's coming right. It's coming right here, and I don't know if they're coming for you or just if you're in the path. But you have to move out of the way.
He nods and he looks in, and you can understand him. He says, "Run now!" And you see all of them begin to just lop out of the way. The little fawn that you saved is tangled in a bramble. The big creature is 30 feet away.
Can I do... What's a bramble? Is it just like a thorny bush kind of thing?
Yep.
Can I cast my produce flame on the bush?
You can. It lights on fire. So now it doesn't release the tangle. It just is now on fire. So it's entangled and burning.
Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Then I would like,
Bracken dives down to it and pulls out a knife in his back from like it has somehow had like a hilt on his back and begins to slice through the bramble. He was able to release it right as this thing is about 10 feet away, and the little fawn starts to try and walk away. What do you want to do?
um, I in my tinker's tools, do I have a rope or anything that I could throw and
Almost
grab?
everything has a rope. Yeah, almost everyone has a rope. So I'll
Okay,
say,
then I would like to somehow, I don't know, lasso it and pull it toward me.
okay, make a dexterity check. Just a straight dexterity check.
I got 18 plus 21.
21. You're able to pull this out, tie it in a knot, throw it over its neck, and be with Bracken behind and you ahead are able to kind of lead it away where its instincts are just frozen in fear. Typically it would hide behind its parents. You're able to lead it out as the big creature, which is, 100 feet tall, makes its way past you. There seem to be kind of cloaks and robes on this thing, but you're not sure if it's like part of its skin or whatever. But you just hear this snarling, this language that it just seems to be chanting as it moves its way westward, which is in essence away from Orchidshire, but heading that direction. So the crisis for now is handled. What would you like to do?
Bracken, what the hell was that?
I have no idea. That was insane. Have you ever heard of anything like that? Did you even know that
What?
was here?
No, what is going on around here?
I don't know, but I don't think that's supposed to happen.
Well, obviously not. God, where, where's my mom and Grant? So Delta, without Bracken can follow, but Delta's like, oh my God, I need to make sure mom and Grant are okay. So she zips
Okay.
up and flies back.
Okay, Bracken kind of follows you back. He's going to go check on his own people. As soon as you get back, you and Gran actually arrive kind of at the same time, kind of from two vantage points. And you kind of meet right just outside of kind of where the major glen is. And Gran she looks right at you and she's like, Delta, are you okay?
Grant, yeah, I'm fine, but where are you? Where'd everyone go? What was that thing?
What that was something that hasn't been around for 400, nope, 1,000 years. And it's awoken.
Okay, but like, you
What that
know,
is, listen, what that is called is a demigoth titan. Demigoth is Daemogoth. Demigoth titan.
well, I'd spell that
It
wrong.
is it is a creature that feeds on the suffering of life forms. And typically it is bound to someone or something who has promised to provide it that suffering. And it looks like whoever it is bound to has not paid its dues. It is going to wreak havoc on this land. Delta, do you know the direction that it is headed? How far have you traveled?
I I went to my deer den. Like, I don't leave this place. I've never been able to leave this place. I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, I know. Your mother is, with all due respect, she is definitely a homebody. She's kept you here. I fear that that time is coming to an end. I don't know that we can afford for you to stay sequestered here longer. Listen, I have some things that I've been meaning to tell you, and now it seems that it is inevitable that you know.
No, what?
Orchidshire, you may have suspected, is a doorway between the Feywild and the realm where we are right now. Many people in our community think this is the material plane, but it's not. It's actually a plane called Arcavios. Arcavious. Arcavios is nothing special. However, it is the location of Strixhaven University. It is the premier university college of magic in the known multiverse. And I know that Delta, I'm not a fairy. Actually, I'm a dragon.
Delta's just,
Laugh
what is going on?
Laugh if you will. I choose to live in fairy form because it suits my purposes. But I am nearly 3,000 years old, and my 4 siblings and I built Strixhaven. And over the course of the millennia, have expanded the knowledge of magic to its farthest reaches. Each of us established our own colleges to study a different area of magic, and mine was the world around us, the wildlands, nature. My college is a college that studies growth and studies decay, and the cycles of life is what we talk about. The individuals that you met before, they're deans at the College of Strixhaven. Dean Grimhilda is a dean of the College of Lorehold in the College of Chaos, but Osmagod, she would have been the cow woman with all the pus-covered boils over her body. She is the dean of decay in my college, the College of Witherbloom. My name is Belladros Witherbloom. And actually, Orchidshire is on my college's land. And if you go that way, 100 miles, you'll hit the campus. That's where the Titan is heading. I know.
Okay, so you're telling me that you're a dragon and we're a gateway to another plane, and then somehow in the mix there's a school down the road, like the best magical school in all the land, and you're a dragon, and those two creatures are teachers at that school.
Well,
and your name is actually Belladros Witherbloom?
That was an excellent summary. The one thing that you left out that I haven't told you yet is you are my heir.
Delta is just... She can't even. She literally can't even.
Magic.
I'm your heir to what?
Well, for generations, the magical gene has not manifested. No, you're not a dragon, but you have the blood of the Witherbloom dragon inside you, which is why you have the magic that you do. And it's time for you to learn how to use it. Something is going on campus. And this creature is but one of the things that could be going on. This was unexpected, but given all of the warnings that we have received, this makes sense. Here's what you need to know. The founder dragons do not visit campus except in the rarest of circumstances. And the deans and professors are not permitted to intervene in mundane affairs unless the entire safety of the college is somehow in jeopardy. And I don't know if that's the case yet, but I need you to go to Strixhaven, and I need you to enroll. I will make it happen. And I need you to attend. I need you to learn magic. I need you to get better and get stronger. And I need you to figure out if anyone on that campus has somehow summoned or sworn themselves to this beast. Who are they coming for? Do not confront this beast directly. It is nearly godlike in its powers.
So, okay, Grant, I gotta get my mind around this. So I'm an heir. What am I an heir to?
You're a Witherbloom. You are a part of the proud ancestral line of my college.
Remind me, of the nature college? Like,
It's called Witherbloom College. It's one of the 5 colleges that make up the university.
Witherbloom College. Got it. And you need me, someone who's never traveled out of Orchidshire, whose mom sews for a living, to figure out who has bound themselves to this demigoth titan?
Yeah,
And you think I can do that?
I know you can. Why do you think that I have been encouraging and nurturing your natural shepherding skills and your magic?
This is just a lot. It's a lot to take in.
No hero was ever called when they were ready. You remember that. Heroes rise to the occasion when it's time.
And you need me to figure out who the demigoth is after.
Who are they coming for? Who owes them? I will tell you, they've likely made a very powerful pact. This demigoth titan is capable of bestowing incredible powers in exchange for suffering. This is not going to be just anyone. This is going to be someone that's formidable. But don't be fooled. It could be an incoming student. It could be a staff person. It could be a Delta, or it could be a dean of a college. Just don't be fooled. You're smart, and you're one of us. Listen. I have a sibling that left us and went away. You have not been kept prisoner here. You have been groomed here, and it's time for you to go. I'm not asking for you to abandon things. My idiot brother Galazeth abandoned all of us regularly. And you know what? In our time of greatest need, he was never there for us. That's not what I'm looking for. You are loyal. No, she doesn't. And I don't care if you tell her, but I would use some discretion as you go to the college. Raising the alarm about this may not be the wisest move. Be smart. Osmagad and Grimhilda will help you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds great. Great.
Okay, I have a few things that I will arm you with as you prepare to go. I'm not going to send you empty-handed. First,
when do I go? When do we go?
The new school year starts in a week.
Okay, great. Sounds fun.
But I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. And she reaches her hand out, and kind of as it gets drawn towards you, it turns into a dragon claw. And she puts a nail right on the middle of your forehead and traces it down the side of your face and around to the back of your neck. And in its place, as she's traced it, is this beautiful silver tattoo that kind of goes from your head down to your neck. She says, "This is to protect you. This is not armor. This is not magic. What this will do is protect your mind. I don't want you going there and having anyone alter your sense of self or your understanding about what is real here and now." Okay? Now listen, this comes with another benefit. No one but the founders know what I'm about to tell you. In the center of the university is a well-known magical anomaly called a snarl. It is a tangle in the magic of the weave that amplifies spell usage and magic usage when you're near it. Everyone knows about that. It's one of the only ones and most people believe it's the only one in an existence in the multiverse. What people don't know is, my siblings and I know, is there are a small handful of others. They're all within various places of the university. I don't know what's been built around them or where they might be now. All I know is that there was one that I was able to capture, and over the course of hundreds of years was actually able to centralize into a creature. It's a lizard, a skink, and it's pink, and it possesses within it a snarl. It's the only mobile snarl in known existence. All the other ones are stationary wherever they are. But what you need to know is that any time you are around near a snarl, your magic will be exponentially magnified. You also should know that the tattoo I've given you, if you are in the presence of a snarl, if you are near it, it will grant you one use of a wish spell. Use it wisely. You can only use it once. And you don't have to be near the snarl in the biblioplex. You just have to be near a snarl, including the skin. By our count, there were 6, including the large one in the center, one for each college.
So there's a snarl in each college, and then a pink skink?
That's the one for Witherbloom College. Now listen, they have been trying to catch this skink for thousands of... No one has ever caught it. But you are my heir, and it will have a unique attraction to you. And if you go looking, it is somewhere in the Witherbloom wildlands. If you can find it, it will know you, and it will be loyal to you. And it will always know how to find me. If you need help, if you learn something, find the skink and let it lead you to me, and I can help.
Okay.
And don't be too hard on your mother. My mother was the dragon goddess Tiamat, and you know what? She was never around. She was powerful and formidable. She's a goddess in and of herself. You see this just look of like proud heritage. Tiamat, I won't even make you roll for this. There's 2 major dragon gods in known existence, Bahamut and Tiamat. Bahamut is like the good dragon god of the metallic dragons, and Tiamat is the evil dragon of the chromatic dragons. She has 5 heads. So like black, blue, white, red, and green dragons all descend kind of from her. And she just Bella just continues on. She's like, my mother birthed us and then left. You're lucky to have a mother that was around and cares so deeply for you. Don't be too hard on her. She's only wanted what is best.
I love, I mean, we're so close. It's, I can't believe she doesn't know this. And yeah, Grant, this is a lot.
It is. Get your head in the game. You have a week.
Okay.
The last thing that I'll leave you is one of these. And she pulls out of a bag she has on her hip, and she pulls out 3 items. And I am going to show you these, but I will text these to you. You can pick one of these items to have in your inventory at the start of the campaign. There's a wand, there's a leafy key, and then there's a set of contact lenses. They each do kind of different things. Again, I will text these to you, and you can pick what you want. You can pick one of them, and I'll build it into D&D Beyond, and you can have it as a special item to start the campaign.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
She looks at you in this kind of firm but loving voice. She says, Delta, you have been wanting this for your whole life. You know you're meant for more than dresses and balls and sewing machines. You are destined for greatness, and you're going to make us so proud.
Yeah, yeah, Greg. Thank you. Yeah.
She
And then
pats your, and then she what?
I was gonna say, and then Delta hugs her grandma.
Good. She hugs you back. It's a stiff but firm hug. Like she does believe in you. That's where we'll wrap up this one shot. Okay. So I will get you these items. You can look over them and just tell me which one you want. I will say there's one on here, the Dryad's Key. I'm going to let you know you can use this. This says you can use it once ever. I'm going to say you can use it once every 7 days. Okay. That's the one thing that I'll caveat that I'll write into it. So if that's the one you choose, take that into consideration. It's basically a teleportation spell, but you can only teleport through trees or plants, basically. So like that, it won't take you everywhere, but it's somewhere that you have to, it has to be somewhere that you've been. Look up the transport via plants spell and see what it is. But that's the change that I'll make to it. It's not once ever. It's once every 7 days.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Well, excellent work. We will pick up with your arrival at Strixhaven when we start the campaign here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Sound good? Perfect. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. You too. Bye.
Bye.